up, everybody? This is RJ. Welcome to part 3 of King Solomon. Today we've got my mom again, and I really hope you enjoy. There's not much to say. On with the interview. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I am RJ Morris. Welcome to the Bible But Not Boring podcast, the most engaging Bible podcast on the planet. And this is our host today, John Tel Morris.
Guest, John Tel Morris.
Our guest, John Tel Morris.
Hi, I'm your mom.
Yeah, and also my mom. We had her on part 1 of this, and that was a pretty good part. So we're gonna do this. We're going to part 3, what is chapters 5 through 6.
Yeah, I'm excited.
Before we get started in, anything we have to talk about? Anything?
Just like my personal life.
Yeah, like if you have any pregnant goats.
I have pregnant goats. Yeah, I have 3. It's been quite a journey, and we didn't think they were pregnant. And then we thought they were pregnant, and then we thought they were pregnant some more, and then we didn't think they're pregnant, and now suddenly they bagged up and they're in milk, so they're definitely pregnant and due to kid like today.
That's pretty confusing.
It is confusing, but we're really excited for baby goats.
Yeah.
And milk, because I milk our goats.
Last time we had a lot of baby goats, every single one was a runt.
Well, it's because I didn't know that our buck is per pygmy.
Yeah, a pygmy?
So pygmy goat, they're like smaller than dwarf, which is why our dwarf goats never get large.
Definitely not one of the dwarf lords.
No.
Definitely not a dwarf lord. Oh yeah, and thank you, Mom, as you listened to what I said earlier, that on a podcast you laugh like 50 times more than in actual life. So
catch that? I definitely put strong effort into that laugh.
Yeah. So when I'm having some Google captions, I have some new ones. There's Solomon Shlomo was shallow mo.
Oh, that's silly.
Shallow mo. And Yehovah was Yothe. Yehovah is what Tom Bradford says about the
Yehovah.
Yehovah.
Yeah, Tom Bradford says it Yehovah, but there's no backing to his pronunciation.
It really
just
isn't.
Personal.
Yeah. Well, without further ado, let's get started. So, let's get started. So, we're gonna do the first chapter, 5 through. We're gonna go do chapter 5. Okay. I would cut out flipping through the Bible, but it's actually kind of satisfying.
Some asthma.
Mm-hmm.
Are you gonna read it, or you want me to read it?
Could you?
Sure.
Chapter 5.
Chapter 5. Shlomo, which is the Hebrew for Solomon, ruled over all the kingdoms from the Euphrates River through the land of the Plishtim. So we're using the
Philistine.
Okay, we're using the CJB, the Complete Jewish Bible, and so some of the names are different, like enunciation than they would be in like the King James.
So that
or
is Philistine.
NASB. Yeah. Okay. Where was that?
I think. Oh no.
I don't know either. Oh, the Philistine to the border of Egypt.
Okay.
They paid tribute and served Shlomo as long as he lived. Shlomo's provisions for one day consisted of 150 bushels of fine flour, 310 bushels of meal, 10 fattened oxen, 20 pastured-fed oxen, and 100 sheep, in addition to deer, gazelles, roebucks, and fattened poultry. For he ruled all the area this side of Euphrates River, from the Tifshak to Azah. He was over all the kings on this side of the river, and he had peace all around him on every side. From Dan to Beersheba, Yehuda and Israel lived securely, every man under his vine and fig tree, throughout the lifetime of Shlomo. Shlomo also had 40,000 stalls for the horses used with his chariots and 12,000 horsemen.
Okay, stop right there. So we're on that paragraph, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if you go to Deuteronomy 17, 14 through 17, I think.
Wait, say it again. Deuteronomy what?
17, 14 through 17.
Deuteronomy 17, 14
through 17.
What? I missed a page.
Okay.
14, 7.
No, 17, 14 through 7.
Oh.
Okay.
Hold on, say it slower. I'm not
Deuteronomy 17
17, 14.
through 7 to 17. Sorry.
Okay, that's okay. When you've entered the land Adonai, your God, is giving you, you have taken possession of it and are living there, you may say, I want to have a king over me, like all the other nations around me. In that event, you must appoint as king the one whom Adonai, your God, will choose. He must be one of your kinsmen, this king you would appoint over you. You are forbidden to appoint a foreigner over you who is not your kinsman. However, he is not to acquire many horses for himself, or have the people return to Egypt to obtain more horses, inasmuch as Adonai told you never to go back that way again. Likewise, he is not to acquire many wives for himself, so that his heart will not turn away, and he is not to acquire excessive quantities of silver and gold.
Wow.
Which is the opposite of
he's not
Solomon.
He's not only disobeying this, but he's doing the exact opposite.
Mm.
And if you are still curious about how many wives he have, we will get to that in this. And we'll just let you know, it's a lot. Don't say how many. It's a lot.
So we're back to Kings 5. 1 Kings 5. Those officers named above supplied food and other materials for King Shlomo and for everyone whom Shlomo provided. Each was responsible for his month's supplies. They saw to it that nothing was lacking. They also made sure there was barley and straw where it was needed for the horses and draft animals. Each filled his quota. God gave Shlomo exceptional wisdom and understanding, as well as a heart as vast as the sandy beach by the sea. Shlomo's wisdom surpassed the wisdom of the people from the east and all the wisdom of Egypt, for he was wiser than everyone, wiser than Eitan the Ezrahi, and wiser than Hyman Calcol and Darda the sons of Machol, so that his fame spread to all the surrounding nations. He composed 3,000 proverbs and 1,005 songs.
Wow.
He could discuss trees from the cedar in Lebanon to the hyssop growing out of the wall. He could discuss wild animals, poultry, reptiles, and fish. People from all nations came to hear wisdom of Shlomo, including kings from all over the earth who had heard of his wisdom. Hiram, king of Tzor, set his servants to Shlomo because he had heard that they had
also
anointed him.
Also king of Bizor.
Okay. Anointed him king in his father's place, and Hiram had always loved David. Shlomo returned this message to Hiram. You know that David, my father, was unable to build a house for the name of Adonai, his God, because of the wars that beset him from every side, until Adonai put his enemies under the soles of my feet. But now Adonai, my God, has given me rest on every side. There is neither adversary nor calamity. So now I intend to build a house for the name of Adonai, my God, in keeping with what Adonai said to David, my father. Your son, whom I will put on your throne in your place, will be the one to build the house for my name. Therefore, order your people to cut down cedar trees from the Lebanon for me. My servants will be with your servants. I will pay your servants according to everything you say. For you know that we have no one among us as skilled in felling trees as the Tzidonim. When Hiram heard Shlomo's message, he was very happy and said, Blessed be Adonai today, who has given David a wise son to rule this great people. Then Hiram sent Shlomo this message. I have heard the message you sent me, and I will do everything you want concerning cedar logs and cypress logs. My servants will bring them down from the Lebanon to the sea. I will make them into rafts to go by sea to whatever place you tell me, and will have them broken up there, and you will receive them. You will then compensate me by providing food for my household. So Hiram gave Shlomo all the cedar logs and cypress logs he wanted, and Shlomo gave Hiram 100,000 bushels of wheat as food for his household, and 1,000 gallons of oil from pressed olives. This is what Shlomo gave Hiram each year. Adonai gave Shlomo wisdom, as he had promised him, and there was peace between Hiram and Shlomo. The two of them formed an alliance together. King Shlomo conscripted 30,000 men from all Israel for forced labor. He sent them to the Lebanon in monthly relays of 10,000. They would stay a month in the Lebanon and 2 months at home. Adoniram was in charge of the forced labor. Shlomo had 70,000 men to carry loads and another 80,000 stonecutters in the hills, besides Shlomo's 3,300 supervisors who were in charge of the people doing the work. The king gave orders, and they quarried large stones, expensive stones, to lay the foundation of the house with cut stone. Shlomo's and Hiram's builders, along with the men from Gaval, worked the stones and prepared the timber and stones for building the house.
Okay. Thank you.
This sounds very different than the temple that
it should have been
commanded in Torah.
Okay. Okay. Well, thank you. Take 3. Thank you for reading that chapter. There's a lot to unpack here. First, I'm just letting you know I didn't mean to correct you when you were saying King of Zor. I was just trying to let people know with the English translation that meant King of Bazor.
Okay, yeah,
So,
no
okay.
problem.
Thank you. So, this is a really interesting chapter. What may be, like, looked in from the outward appearance as just a boring description of the temple, but there's actually a lot here.
Exciting.
Yeah. It is. I was listening to Tom Bradford about this. There's a lot. So, first of all, I don't know. Did it say 40,000 horses in this or 4,000?
I'm sure it was 40,000.
Yeah, because...
Yeah, 40,000 stalls for horses and 12,000 horsemen. I think it talked about how many horses in like previous chapters.
There's 40,000 horses, but Tom Bradford says, I haven't looked this up myself, but Tom Bradford says that in Chronicles, that's 4,000 horses. What seems little...
Well, this just says 40,000 stalls. It doesn't say 40,000 horses.
True.
So it could be like in preparation for when they have babies and, you know. So
and also they did go to Egypt. I'm pretty sure in the 6th chapter they do go to Egypt and buy a lot of horses.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so I mean, Solomon's really disobeying God here.
Well, right, his Torah. And I think one of the commandments in Torah is that a king, anybody who's made king has to write out the entire Torah.
Yeah.
So you know that, you know, Solomon would be very well studied in God's instruction.
Yeah, I mean, God's still pretty young.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, he has so much wisdom, you think. Yeah, but I mean, just because you're the wisest person in the world doesn't mean you still don't have free will. I mean...
Or have the desire to acquire wealth.
Yeah, I mean, as we read, this continues deteriorating, these few things that he does, like deteriorates his relationship with God.
Yeah, I can see that.
It actually becomes this real tragedy. It's kind of hard to read.
I'm excited.
What?
I'm excited to, like, see it progress.
Okay. You are? That's kind of sad. You're excited
Even
to see
sad
somebody
stories,
suffer?
you want... Well, no, I didn't say I'm excited to see somebody suffer. I'm excited to see the
Okay.
full context of the story.
Okay.
I don't have to finish the podcast.
I
can leave now if
I
not being helpful.
I didn't slap you. I was patting you on the shoulder.
I didn't say you hit me.
Okay. Well, Solomon, he had, like, different wisdom. Like, not like riddles, but like... Because the others had worldly wisdom. Egyptians had, like, wisdom in electronics. Like, they were always known for, like, really good, cool, like, gadgets and stuff. Actually, I was kind of interested because they had this, like, supposedly there was water that elevated these, like, huge bricks so they could get, like, them to the top of the pyramid.
Yeah, I have heard of that.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
So David wanted to make a temple, but in 1 Chronicles 22, 1-5, I'm pretty sure, he says that, I remember it saying that he shedded too much blood, so that's why God wouldn't let him build a temple. Because, I mean, it wasn't all some of it was innocent blood, I mean, the Bathsheba thing. Yeah.
It's not innocent.
Yeah. I meant some of it was innocent blood. That's what I meant.
Oh,
Okay,
I see.
okay,
Yes,
so-
okay.
Okay, so, I think that's all here.
And just through war, like so many wars.
Yeah, I mean, he shed so much blood. Thanks. So this temple, the thing is, sometime in Samuel 8, 1 Samuel 8, verses 10 through 18.
Are you asking me to go there?
Yes, please.
Okay, you gotta go slow. 1 Samuel
8,
10. Okay, hold on.
8, 10,
10 through
18.
Oh, okay. Shmuel reported everything Adonai had said to the people, asking him for a king. He said, "Here is the kind of rulings your king will make. He will draft your sons and assign them to take care of his chariots, be his horsemen, and be bodyguards running ahead of his chariots. He will appoint them to serve as officers in charge of 1,000 or 50, plowing his fields, gathering his harvest, and making his weapons and equipment for his chariots.
Whoa.
He will take your daughters and have them be perfume makers, cooks, and bakers. He will expropriate your fields, vineyards, and olive groves, the very best of them, and hand them over to his servants. He will take the 10% of tax of your crops and vineyards and give it to his officers and servants. He will take your male and female servants, your best young men, and your donkeys, and make them work for him. He will take the 10% tax of your flocks, and you will become his servants. When that happens, you will cry out on account of your king, whom you yourselves chose. But when that happens, Adonai will not answer you.
It's pretty crazy because, I mean, if you read at the end of 5, it just says what ridiculous amount of numbers that he took to, like, slave for his temple.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Serve,
yes. Serve, slave. Okay, yeah. A little different.
We're being paid, but yeah, I hear what you're saying.
Well, I mean, it's forced labor. Because back then, taxes... Tom Bradford says that taxes were forced labor. So, like, every once in a while, there'd just be forced labor for, like, a whole day.
Yeah.
Sorry, you can't go see a Minecraft movie with you kids. Yeah, well, I think that's all there is in this chapter. But I think we're just going to go to the next one, and then we can just discuss the rest of...
You want to do the
these
questions
chapters.
for the first chapter first?
Sure. Just pull them up. Okay. Actually, I don't see any. Okay. So Solomon made an agreement with Hiram to a person. Tom Bradford claims that was one of David's friends, and they got to pass that relationship on to Solomon, his son. And, like, he wasn't necessarily, like, a worshiper of God, but he knew of him and respected Israel. And, I mean, it says in the Bible, like, people that are, like, friends and allies of Israel will be blessed. I mean, so... To help build the temple. What does this teach us about importance of partnerships, even with people outside of our community or faith?
Do you want to start?
Well, I mean, just because someone's not Christian doesn't mean you have to, like, curse them. I mean, you can still be friends with somebody and also respect that. I mean, you know.
I think it shows that Yah provides, right? Like, he brings people into our circles and he takes people out for his glory and always are good. And so it's like we can trust the provision that he gives us, especially if we can see that this person is full of love and respect for our God and for Israel. And you know, it wasn't just like some heathen or somebody who despised, was an enemy. It seems like Yah is the one who provided that relationship.
Yeah, it's like... Not everybody, all of our friends are people that, like, worship God, but, like, people that we still keep close, like, they respect that we worship God. And, I mean, I find that I'm pretty thankful because of that. So, David wanted to build the temple, but God chose Solomon instead. How do you think Solomon felt about continuing his father's dream? Have you ever felt the pressure to live up to someone else's expectations?
This, like, question gives me some, like, conflict because it says God chose Solomon, but I think that's, like, a bit of a misunderstanding, right? Because David chose Solomon because David wanted to build it out of his flesh, and Yah said no, and so David put that desire on his son, and even though it wasn't Yah's desire or Yah's way, he still blessed it because Solomon was for him.
Even though he did make big mistakes.
Let me see the question again. Have I ever felt the pressure to live up to I'm sure.
Yeah.
I'm sure I have felt the pressure to live up to somebody else's expectations, but
it's a big pressure.
I'm in a season in my life where I don't let that dictate decisions that I make, especially in my faith walk.
Yeah. So, Hiram was glad to help Solomon because of the relationship he had with David. How do our actions today, like David's, impact the opportunities of others, like Solomon?
Oh, I like this question.
We'll have in the future.
Yeah, I think that when we make long-term relationships, it is a very kingdom-minded thing. It's almost an inheritance for our children, right? When we build a community that is long-term and we are able to establish ourselves in relationships, It's a culture that we give to our children, and it is an inheritance that we give to our children.
Yeah, like I really hope our fellowship crosses over. That'd be so
Yeah, of course. And also just even if it doesn't, the relationship mindedness or community mindedness that those kinds of relationship passes on is like, again, it's a part of that inheritance.
Okay. So, building the temple was a massive, long-term project. How does being involved in a long, difficult process test our faith and patience? I mean, it's not that good of a question, but...
I mean, no, it is.
Oh, it is?
You
Okay,
should,
I'm sorry. Okay.
You should, and what about you? How do you feel about that?
I don't know.
Think about, like, how Yah set us on a long-term journey.
Oh, yeah.
Finding home, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, okay.
How did the duration of that test our faith?
Well, I mean, it was hard.
Right? Constantly having to overcome obstacles we didn't expect and not say, oh, we failed, or like, oh, this is terrible, we should have never done this, but learning that obstacles are just a part of the process, and that endurance produces perfect faith, and all of those things. Yeah.
I totally got that one wrong. Sorry about that.
Oh, it's okay.
Okay, so don't mean to take too long of a detour here, but this just reminds me a part of our faith journey.
Yeah.
It's like we were crying out to God, and we're like, if we do move, please to give somebody a stabbed toe and stuff.
Yeah.
Tell him.
Oh yeah, when we used to live in our trailer, and we were just trying to anticipate when it was time for us to leave the place that we were dwelling at the time, and it just had felt like so long without any word from Yah after like a season of just constant direction and provision from Yah, and then Dad was just like, Yah, please answer us, give us a dream, a stubbed toe, anything, and I woke up and had a dream. You woke up and had the same dream.
I know.
Even though you didn't hear me tell my dream, and then Dad stood up and stubbed his toe, like bloodied his toe.
Yeah, it was like...
And we were like, it's time to go!
Yeah.
It was just like a very clear and silly, rather direct answer to that cry.
It's really direct. It's really easy to understand that
I was like, I've been trying to tell you, do you really need a stubbed toe for crying out loud?
Lay down our fleece, I mean...
Yeah, really, no, that was a fleece for sure.
Okay, so I'm just going to go into these questions. Some of these aren't the best, because, I mean, they're generated.
Sure.
But, so, building the temple was a massive long-term project. How does being involved in a long, difficult process... I'm sorry.
That's okay.
Solomon showed careful planning and organization in getting the materials and workers ready. What does this tell us about how God can use both spiritual devotion and practical skills?
Why don't you start this one?
Well, not a good question to answer. But,
I think there's always, like, the spiritual aspect of something and the physical aspect of something. Like, we see that in sacrifices. And then in how once Yeshua is done, like, the sacrifice is no longer physical but spiritual. So the physical sacrifice is an outward sign of the internal obedience that we are performing. And so it's one thing to say spiritually, like with your heart, like I'm going to do something, I'm going to plan for something, and it's another thing to, it's like that's obedience in your spirit. Then physical obedience matters too, right? So there's, I guess it's the works and the faith,
like moving out here.
Yeah,
like when God gave us a step.
The works and the faith go hand in hand.
Well, this part, why do you think God wanted such a detailed, careful plan for the temple instead of something quick and easy? What does this say about how we approach work that honors God? Well, Solomon didn't do the temple in a blessed way. I mean, he did it wrong.
Yes.
But, I mean, God still accepted it because his heart was for him.
Yeah, and that's really interesting because, reading about the temple, I think it's in Leviticus, is one of my favorite parts of Scripture. It's extremely, tedious reading, but you go through, and when you study out all of the different facets, the materials, and construction and functions of the temple, you see, we've studied things out scientifically, and we see that they are just resonating parts of
creation.
Right, exactly. Yeah, they're just highly energetic and medicinal and very powerful. What's the word I'm looking for? Elements. That are being used, and We see exactly in the ways in which the temple and the priest represents Yeshua. And so, I mean, it is just like, it is absolutely divine and anointed with so much. And so we can see the Father in that. When a man makes something, he says, put big stones and gold and gems.
Like Solomon did.
Exactly. And like, it should be big and it should be amazing and it should display my wealth. But Yah, all-knowing and omnipotent, says like, you're going to see my son and me in every single aspect of this played out through history. And so we can see it in the past and we can see it in the future. We can see it in the present. We can see it in the elements and just like the elevation of creation. The temple's just, man, it's amazing.
Yeah. I was actually listening to Jerusalem Lights, a Torah podcast, if you know. Mm-hmm. So he was saying, like, it's just radical.
Rabbi Rickman?
Yeah. I think.
Yeah.
No,
Richmond? Jerusalem Lights? It's okay.
I think so. Okay. Well, anyways, the podcast is called Jerusalem Lights. Pretty good if you want to check it out. So basically, he was saying, like, it's just insane that he moves the temple so often. Moses would, like, have to move the temple maybe up to, like, 4 times a week.
Yes, and it's a temporary structure.
Yeah,
and so that's why when we're reading this, and he's like, we're cutting out huge rocks and, like, felling these trees. And I'm like, that's not how it's supposed to be.
Yeah, that's probably why God wanted such a detailed, careful plan for the temple.
It is Rabbi Richmond.
Yeah, Rabbi Richmond, okay. So, what might have been the personal cost for Solomon and the workers to undertake such a huge project? How can serving God sometimes involve real sacrifice? And is it worth it? Yes, of course it's worth it.
Yeah, I think some of these questions are a little misconstrued.
Yeah.
Because, again, we're looking at, like, was this Yah's plan? Like, was it sacrifice for Yah? Like, all of it, yes, is, but, like, is it, like, the righteous sacrifice that he required, or are we still looking at, like, a very fleshly accomplishment? But, and I know that's kind of complex because it's, like, David versus Solomon.
Yeah.
But, like, just to answer the question outright, like, think of Noah.
Yeah.
That took his whole life, sacrificed, I mean, I imagine, like, his wages, his time, generational time.
Moses, his whole life was committed to it.
Yeah, exactly. It's like when you're anointed by Yah with such a calling, you go for it and you do it. And of course it's rewarding, and we might not always see this reward like right here, right now, but yes, we do in a sense. It just, again, is a very kingdom-minded reward, not always like a fleshly reward like we would want to see in the world, or how we would want other people to perceive our undertaking and look and say, ooh, like, look at what he's doing. But there's always that shalom when Yah has anointed it. So, yeah, of course.
I kind of feel like, because in the Bible, not that many, like, of God's servants are blessed on earth. I mean, there's, like, King Solomon. He was, like, one of the richest and most powerful people, kings throughout his life. And he was, actually. And Job, I mean, he was rich.
Yeah. No, but I think we do, though. I think we see, like, so many rewards, maybe not exactly, but, like, in Deuteronomy, we have those promises, right? Like, if you do these, if you obey my commands, like, you will do well in the land I anoint for you. Like, the trees will fruit, your barns will be full, your livestock will be well.
The way the whole Moses thing ended is so sad.
Yeah. How he doesn't get to go to the promised land.
Yeah.
I know.
I mean, he still definitely is after what he did. But.
Right. He is in, like, the promised land, but, like...
Okay. So, we're going to move on to chapter 7. I mean, or 6? Yeah, 6. Okay. And, yeah.
All right. Chapter 6. It was in the 480th year after people of Israel had left the land of Egypt, in the 4th year of Shlomo's reign over Israel, in the month of Ziv, which is the 2nd month, that he began to build the house of Adonai. The house which King Shlomo built for Adonai was 105 feet long, 35 feet wide, and 52.5 feet high.
Wow.
The hall fronting the temple of the house was 30 feet long, the same as the width of the house itself, so that its 17.5 foot width extended frontward from the outside.
Is everybody still there?
Against the wall of the house, he built an annex all the way around. It went all the way around the walls of the house, including both temple and the sanctuary. The lowest floor of the annex was 8 3/4 feet wide, the middle floor 10.5 feet wide, and the third floor 12 1/4 feet wide, for he had made the outer part of the wall of the house step-shaped so that the beam of the annex would not have to be attached to the house walls. For the house, when under construction, was built of stone, prepared at the quarry so that no hammer, chisel, or iron tool of any kind was heard in the house while it was being built. Oh, interesting.
That is interesting.
Yeah. The entrance to the lowest floor was on the south side of the house. A spiral staircase went up to the middle floor and on the third. So he built the house, and after finishing it, he put its roof on cedar planks over beams. Each floor of the annex surrounding the house was 8 3/4 feet high. It was attached to the house with beams of cedar. Then this word of Adonai came to Shlomo concerning this house which you are building. If you will live according to my regulations, follow my rulings, and observe all my mitzvah and live by them, then I will establish you with my promise that I made to David your father. I will live in it among the people of Israel, and I will not abandon my people, Israel. So Shlomo finished building the house. The insides of the walls of the house he built with the boards of cedar. From the floor of the house to the joists of the ceiling, he covered them on the inside with wood, and he covered the floor of the house with boards of cypress. The 35-foot back portion of the house he built with boards of cedar from the place to the joists, and reserved this part of the house to be a sanctuary.
Okay.
An especially holy place.
Can we pause right there? Because
I'm in the middle of a sentence. Let me finish it. While the rest of the house, that is, the temple in front, was 70 feet long. Go ahead.
I just remembered, this is a really long chapter.
Do you want me to finish it?
Yeah, I'm just going to
It is a very long chapter.
Yeah, I'm just going to start right
there.
there.
You tricked me!
Sorry. Reminds me, I think I've already said this on the podcast before, but it's still so funny. I was volunteering to read like a little thing in Revelations when I was at a men's retreat.
Uh-huh.
And I flipped the page over. It was just pages and pages and pages and pages long.
Oh, no.
So, sorry for tricking you.
Sure. No, I mean, I was just
Okay.
joking.
Okay.
The 35-foot back portion of the house he built was boards of cedar from the floor to the joists, and reserved this part of the house to be a sanctuary, the especially holy place. While the rest of the house, that is, the temple in front, was 70 feet long. The cedar covering the house was carved. The cedar covering the house. Sorry, excuse me. One more time. Let's go. The cedar covering the house was carved with gourds and open flowers. All was cedar. No stone was visible. In the inner part of the house, he set up the sanctuary so that the ark for the covenant of Adonai could be placed there. This sanctuary was 35 feet long, wide, and high, and it was overlaid with pure gold. In front of it, he set an altar, which he covered with cedar. Shlomo overlaid the interior of the house with pure gold and had chains of gold placed before the sanctuary, which itself he overlaid with gold. The entire house he overlaid with gold until it was completely covered with it. He also overlaid with gold the entire altar that belonged to the sanctuary. Inside the sanctuary, he made 2 kuvarim of olive wood, each 17.5 feet high. Each of the 2 wings of the keruvim, what is this?
Keruvim is cherub, I think.
Oh.
There's angels on the Ark of the Covenant.
Yes, okay, yeah. Was 8 3/4 feet long, so that the distance from the end of one wing to the end of the other was 17.5 feet. Likewise, the wing spread of the other cherub, so it must be cherub and cherubim, maybe, was 17.5 feet. Both keruvim were identical in shape and size. The height of one cherub was 17.5 feet, likewise that of the other. He set the keruvim into the inner house. The wings of the keruvim were stretched out so that the wing of the one touched the one wall, and the wing of the other cherub touched the other wall. Their wings touched each other in the middle of the house. He overlaid the keruvim with gold, and all around the house, walls of the house, both inside the sanctuary and outside it, he carved figures of the keruvim, palm trees, and open flowers. He overlaid the floor of the house with gold, both inside the sanctuary and outside it. For the entrance to the sanctuary, he made doors of olive wood set within a 5-side door frame. On the 2 olive wood doors, he carved figures of keruvim, palm trees, and open flowers. He overlaid the doors with gold, forcing the gold into the shapes of the keruvim and palm trees as well. For the entrance to the temple, he also made doorposts of olive wood set within a rectangular door frame, and 2 doors of cypress wood. The 2 leaves of the one door were folding, as were the 2 leaves of the other. On them he carved keruvim, palm trees, and open flowers, overlaying them with gold fitted to the carved work. He built the inner courtyard with 3 rows of cut stone and a row of cedar beams. The foundation of the house, Adonai, was laid in the 4th year in the month of Ziv. In the 11th year, in the month of Bul, which is the 8th month, all parts of the house were completed exactly as designed. Thus he was 7 years building it. Woo, woo, my goodness. Not at all what it's like
Okay.
in Torah.
I feel really bad because the next
I
interview.
thought it was 2 more pages.
Yeah, because the next interview is going to be a long chapter. Because, I mean, there's that one that's 51 verses.
Yeah.
And then the other one's 66.
Yeah, it's good though.
Yeah. Okay, we'll try to maybe get like a complete Jewish Bible next time. Just
We should use NASB. NASB is like a good simple translation.
Okay.
The
Yeah.
1990. We can use mine.
Because it might get a little. Because we're getting a little all over the place with that. Because there's some pretty hard.
No,
words.
I'm impressed that you know, because I don't use this. I know Dad does, so he got it for you. So, but it's impressive that you know the translations.
Thank you. Well. So. Yeah. Okay. Here was David's friend, Temple of Him, did worship. Okay, so the genius way that I thought it was pretty genius back in chapter 5, where how they transported the huge logs, because I mean they didn't have any boats or anything before.
Oh,
They turned all the logs into like these huge rafts.
Yes, and
It
just
was
floated them across the
insane.
ocean.
And the thing at the temple was 105 feet tall. That is radical.
Mm.
It is insane. I mean, just crazy. Looking up 105 feet, that would still be huge for today.
Yeah.
It's more than you'd think it is. Because, I mean, most houses are like 7 feet,
No, taller.
9 feet, I don't know. I mean, like, how tall they are inside. I mean,
The average 2-story house is between 20 and 25 feet tall.
that's a 2-story house.
Yeah.
Not a 1-story temple.
Okay,
I've
hold on. The Empire State Building is 1,250 feet tall, which I think
Okay,
is,
but before,
or at least it used to be the tallest. I don't know if it is
but
now.
I mean, before they weren't that.
Right. I mean, they were
Yeah.
building pyramids.
Yeah, but I mean, also they didn't
Just still a
have
very large building.
billions of slaves.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, they had a lot. I mean, the thing that he uses temple for forced labor kind of gets me.
Mm.
I mean, God doesn't want people, like, enslaved to build his temple. I mean, it's by choice, free will. I mean, God gives us all free will. God gives us a chance.
But he also warns us that if we're going to have a king, which the Israelites chose to have a king,
Yeah.
that a king is going to need taxes and
Yes.
laborers, and it was something that the people chose because he said, I am your king, and the people said, we want to be like the other nations and have a king over us, and he said, well, if you do, like, this is what's going to look like. So in a sense, they chose it.
Yeah, they did. They
chose the functionality of a kingdom with a king.
Yeah, I mean, they actually 100% chose it. It's just the thing. 80,000 stone cutters. 80,000.
Well,
150,000.
have you ever cut a stone?
But still. 150,000 to cut and carry them. 70,000, I think, to transport it, and 3,300 supervisors.
Mm.
That is insane. So, I think in 2 Chronicles 2:16 through 17. Could you go
Are
there?
you asking me to turn there?
Yes, please.
Oh, no, you're going to make me find it. It doesn't have a tab.
Oh no. Okay.
Alright, 2 Chronicles 2:16 through 17. Shlomo took a census of all the foreigners in the land of Israel, following the patterns of the census of David his father. They were found to number 153,600. He appointed 70,000 of them to carry loads, 80,000 to be stone cutters in the hills, and 3,600 as supervisors to assign the people their work.
Okay.
That's like-
I think that's a little bit different. Isn't it different?
I thought it was 3,300 or something like
Yeah.
that.
The thing is, there's kind of like a little bit of unevenness in numbers between 1 Kings and Chronicles.
Where does it say in the stone cutters here?
Well, right here I
So,
have.
yeah, it
this.
says 3,300 supervisors, and the other one says 3,000. But 70,000 and 80,000, that lines up.
Yeah, it's just there's like a little bit of unevenness.
Mhm.
Like kind of in there it said 40,000 and then 4,000.
Mm.
Yeah, it's just
Okay,
kind of a little interesting.
good catch.
Okay. Thank you. So I feel like it was more the actual measurement, I'm pretty sure, was cubits. This is pretty complicated, so sorry if I get this wrong, but cubits, and they were transformed into feet in some Bibles, but no one knows the actual measurement of a cubit, but cubits are 17 to 24 inches. There's a lot of different cubits, so I've heard in the Complete Jewish Bible, they used Egyptian cubits.
Interesting.
It's just some crazy thing. So, no one knows the location of the temple, but I mean, the walls of Solomon's temple have actually been found, and they opened the site that was in the old city of Jerusalem.
Interesting. I did not know that.
The temple is facing east. So, like, the Ark of the Covenant and everything is facing east.
Yes. Or
so
sometimes
if you
when they do liturgy, they face east.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure there's something in the Bible, like in Enoch, the east wind. It's like some directions really special to God, I think, right? Something like that.
I think it's just because Israel is in the east, so,
Yeah.
as respect to Israel.
Yeah. So
Not everybody, but,
So you better be facing west when
in
you're
Messianic liturgy, and they faced east.
Like, walking backwards in the temple could be considered blasphemy.
Oh.
Moonwalking in the temple, Michael Jackson. Yeah. What are you doing?
I'm trying to find out about, like, the hammer and chisel, how there was no iron herd in, he didn't want iron herd, and I was trying to kind of glance and see if I could find, there doesn't seem to be any consistent.
It's a little interesting.
I'd love to do, like, a study of that, the sound of iron.
Yeah. So, it was more about, like, Solomon being envied as a king than God having a temple.
Ooh, yeah, I would agree.
I mean, it just, like...
Or maybe Solomon felt also to, like, live up to his father's honor as well.
God... So, I was trying a really, really hard way to describe what I was trying to say, and it just went on for over and over. But I looked at the bullet point in the video that I was watching. It says, God is not honored by buildings, but men are.
Yeah, I would agree.
Yeah.
But, Yah says, like, okay, if you're going to listen, and it's so interesting because he says, if you listen to my mitzvah and my statute, which is, like, fulfilling commandments, and my statutes, then I will dwell here.
Yes.
But, like, he's already disobeying it by, like, the way this temple is built.
Yes.
And so it's like he's already...
God's a merciful God, though.
Absolutely. And again, like you said, like, he had a heart for Yah, and he had wisdom, and so... like you said, Yah blessed it and said he would dwell there. But, like, I wonder, like, how that plays into Solomon's relationship with the Father diminishing because he's not being uplifted in the way that he asks to be uplifted.
Yeah, because, I mean, people believed that gods were, like, basically locked in temples. It was a pagan belief, but I mean, I think Solomon may have thought that. But actually, in Isaiah 66, verse 1, I don't know, but, like, I'm pretty sure it said something like, I'm sorry. Okay. What I was trying to say is that God lives in the heavens, and the thing is, God did not live in the temple. And obviously, fake piece of plastic, yeah, sure, can live in the temple.
Well, no, but Yah's presence did dwell in the temple.
Yes, but he didn't live in the temple. God lives in the heavens. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
he did proclaim the Ark of the Covenant as his throne.
Yes, but that doesn't mean he lives there.
Presence, was there.
Yes, but I mean, God's presence is everywhere. There could be 1,000. There's like millions of people praying to him at a time.
Yep. Interesting perspective.
So, question 6. Describe some features of the temple's design. What stood out to you?
Just thought it was massive.
It was massive.
It was massive and immovable.
Yeah. What special instructions did God give Solomon while the temple was being built?
To follow his statutes and his commandments.
And I mean, we'll see later that didn't necessarily happen.
Mm-mm.
Yeah. Why do you think it was important that no hammer or iron tool is heard of at the temple site during construction? Yes.
Somebody said that the demons he was afraid of, like, I don't know, that it was something like that.
That denounces all Solomon Kabbalah.
Yeah, right. I know there's so much like Kabbalah stuff about Solomon.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Like, there's no, and it says a lot about how like the hammer and axe and other iron tools are usually found at building sites. So like where the stonework was being done. It's just, but there isn't. I'd have to study that one out.
I actually came to the recognition. I don't know. Is that the word?
I don't think that's the word.
Recognition. What is it?
Realization.
Realization. Yes, that. I mean, Solomon wasn't building the temple in God's ways.
Yeah.
I mean,
but that's just such a specific, like, when Yah inspires the Bible, like, he doesn't, things are not random. You know what I'm saying? They're not randomized. That could have been left out completely, but it's a weird, like, regulation that was made that was included, so I'm just curious about it.
Yeah, this question is, how can we apply Solomon's dedication and attention to God's instructions in our own lives today?
Again, like, a little misconstrued, because while he does put a lot of attention to detail and a lot of
and the thing
like grandness into this temple, it's not necessarily by Yah's instruction.
And the thing that like kind of bummed me out was the sad thing, because I've been building a temple based on this description in Minecraft, but I just noticed that yikes.
Oops.
Like, I had
okay, King Solomon.
I had like a pool of like living water
uh-huh.
and stuff. Yeah.
Right. Fun. Thanks for having me on again. I really enjoy getting to go through this with you. You do a lot of study and preparation for them. So.
Yeah, I'm a double nerd. Okay, bye. Thank you for listening, everybody. I really hope you enjoyed part 3 of King Solomon on Bible But Not Boring. Thank you for supporting. It means the world to me. And goodbye. Till next time.